Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. We are today flying the iFly 737 MAX 8 and we're donning the Airwego livery. And this is actually one of the liveries I've converted for the virtual airline. So they have some Microsoft Flight Sim versions, but then that one can kind of easily be converted to P3D. So this is one of my, I guess you could call it, to a certain extent, my creation, but based on someone else's underlying work. And you can do this with a few different planes that haven't really changed too much from P3D, like Mad Dog, TFDI MD-11, that still have like the P3D model as the underlying one. Some can also be that are a bit more changed, like the Aerosoft CRJ, not sure with the version 2 though. And then I think you can kind of easily also do all the Just Flight, the BAE 146, those can also be fixed from Microsoft Flight Sim liveries to P3D, and I presume the other way around. But yeah, we are here at Nottingham, or East Midlands. We're flying to Hamburg today. And what else? Not that much else to report actually. One thing I did just realize though is I haven't fixed the camera settings so that we get those weird transitions, right? Kind of easy to fix though. You just remove the transition effects. Let's see if we can get also the presets fixed a bit. Some of these aren't the best. Not really sure what this one is supposed to be. Is this supposed to be from inside? Not really working. Maybe we can do this instead. Oh yeah, it's based on window seat, but you would have to zoom in so much in order for it to actually work. Jesus Christ, there's way too many different of these kind of window options. We don't need this one. We definitely don't need this one. This one is also a bit weird. I guess you would want the wing, right? Something like this instead. Yeah, so some of these viewpoints should really be fixed. Yeah, I don't know why. It's very weird when you have 3 screens specifically, because you can kind of see it go through the fuselage. I'll show you by going to the right. But basically the way you fix this is by change the view. So let's say we want to change this one. I mean, this one I can remove. Well, let's say I want this one changed. So because I want it to be in a sort of similar height as the windows, right? So let's say I like this. Then I'll go on camera and just click here. And then I'll remove that transition out effect that looks so bad in P3D, unfortunately. And let's say I want this one as well, but maybe the engine will be sufficient, and then I'll just do the same, except remove the transition out. Maybe we want something of the engine. Let's say a bit more zoomed in. This one could be pretty nice. No transition. We could actually change that with the engine on this one as well and do something similar, right? Won't be a window view, but it will be better than we had previously, at least. Something like this maybe. Landing gear. maybe that's a fine one to keep, for example, then you'll keep it. Tail seems a bit unnecessary, right? Right wing, these are fine, I guess, if you like to get like an outside side view. Fueling panel, I guess it's supposed to work, or is it just supposed to show? Let me actually save it. External power panel. So that's pretty cool actually, so you can even press this button. I had no clue about that actually working. There's too many things I haven't learned of the paints I bought, to be frank. And there we go. So now we have a lot of these different, of course I forgot to change the transition thing, but that's an, which one is this? Towing lever? Maybe we can do this instead. Put it somewhere like this. Do we now have the transition effects removed? Almost, right? I think there's one last one. There we go. So now we have all the weird effects moved, right? So when we swap like this, you'll have them instantly changing, a bit like an X-plane, right? You'll have some nice viewpoints. But okay, let's get started. So I've already put on the battery and the ground power, and put that to nav and the yaw dampener. The only reason why I was able to do that was because I wanted to see if the EFB worked as intended. Now that I think of it, maybe I didn't need to put on all the stuff. Well, that's what I did, and I was finally able to find a weight and balance where you can kind of fix that. And it's basically here in the EFB. A bit annoying when you go like out, you stop hearing the iFly. So that's a bit annoying, but oh well. In terms of passengers, we should be at 162. So quite a high number. Not really sure if it's gonna be completely full, but it will be, there will be people enough. I wish they could show you a kind of total amount. So we want to be at 162, now we're at 80, 120, 30, 40, we're already at 140 with this. And then with this we're at 150, and then with this we even go a bit above, right? That's 16, so that's, yeah, 16 is 166. So we can remove 2, I guess. That should be fine. And let me see. And then cargo, we're at zero fuel of 130, so we want to increase the cargo a bit. Let's see, we can do 2000 there and 2000 there. Now we're at 134.9, so we're a bit high. Let's decrease a bit, 7. And let's decrease this one also. So now we're almost at 5. Not sure why that one had the 1. Oh yeah, it has to maybe. And then fuel, we won't need that much fuel because we're quite fuel efficient, so 13. And we can basically just use the main tanks. we can do 7. Let me think about this. 6.5, we can do 6.7, or I guess 6.700. 6.700. Voila, and then we have a total fuel that's a bit above what we want to have. 13 is the block fuel, but they never kind of in real life get it completely right. So we can set the fuel and the payload and press complete, and then it's basically now all loaded in. We can double check quickly here as well to make sure it looks correct, which it does. So that's nice to finally have that figured out. And yeah, what else? Do we have all the planes in the sim? Let me see. Yeah, seems like it's loaded up. We have the Ryanair there, some Jet 2, right, and the Flybe. And I think that's a static one, right? Flybe isn't flying no more, if I'm not totally forgetting. Hopefully not. Let me just see, did all my viewpoints work as intended? Yeah, they look pretty decent. I wonder if I messed anything up by pressing. It seems like it's still connected, so that's good. We can keep this viewpoint for now. Or actually maybe we can move it just temporarily, since we'll start the boarding, etc. As you can see, the GPU, etc. is a bit hitting the GSX stuff. Not sure if you can, or I think you can hide the ground equipment actually, now that I think of it, but let's just keep it in. And but for those of you who want to know where, I think it's system page, not preference, but sorry, sim menu, and then ground support. And I think it's somewhere here where you can choose. You should basically be able to kind of remove them from the visual. Might be somewhere else, right? But yeah, might be good to check that out. So if you don't want to see those vehicles that we had on the outside, now mainly the GPU, you can get rid of them. We can wait with anti-collision, put that to steady. I guess the wheel well lights can be on. We can arm the emergency. Put on the window, heat, cabin, etc. Put that on. Can we put that down? We can, which is very nice. And what we can do as a next step is to start loading our flight plan and getting ready to fly somewhere. We don't have any charts because we don't have Navigraph. I wish they could have added, like, so you could just put on your own PDF files, but oh well, not the end of the world. Okay, and here we have EGNX, so that's good at least. But okay, let's get started. I'm gonna move back this one so I have it available in case I need the browser for anything. I don't think so though, because I have the flight plan separately. And we can go to FMC, position in it, right? We can take the left one, for example, populate that, and then start adding the data for the airports. And I still don't have the hardware one working for this, but they have promised cockpit simulators to update, so we get P3D support for the iFly as well. There we go. Getting the right runway. Departure should be this one. And let's also open up actually our Pack X, or maybe Wave Pack X, but actually Pilot 280C is the one we want to we want to have to check or verify our route. And I am just quickly gonna, let me see. Yeah, just quickly gonna bring it up. I think so at least. Now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. The reason why I'm having a bit of issues is because I'm doing ortho, no, sorry, not ortho. I'm doing ortho for XP, or for P3D actually. So it's being a bit clunky. It's quite heavy on the system, so sometimes it makes Windows Explorer crash, which is not the best. Could be worse though, but yeah, not the best by any means. Okay, let's see. We'll just do Airwego first. We can import the Simbri flight plan. It's not too short of flight, but it's not a crazy long one either. So there we go. We can then do departure. Oh wait, that should load automatically, right? Yeah, we have it. So we have everything automatically. It's basically approach, that's the only thing. So let's keep this on the side, and we'll get back to that. Let me just make sure we have everything. So DTY, we want to go to route actually, and then we want to do P166 to Banto, and then P155 to Somba, and then direct to Mavas, which is going to be quite a bit of waypoints. Andik, now I went totally wrong, there we go, Andik, Aksum, then another airway, M105 to Opiot, T907 to Mupsi, and T903 to Ribso. And then Ribso should be the arrival to ILS runway 23 with the, and this is the question, right? What transition do we want to put in? So let's have a look what we should do in terms of approach. So it's runway 23, we do the ILS. It should be the EDDH657, right? That's the only one that makes sense. So let's activate it and just check how it looks. Yeah, looks pretty good. We can validate and we can file. Let's put it here in the sim as well. We shouldn't have any discontinuities now. Very good. We can activate and execute. And one thing I also want to do is switch. I'd like to have this one as the main panel. We can connect to the sim also from pilot to ADC. And while we wait for that, we can start the pack X boarding. Question is though, what flight number are we? Oh, we can just do 4003. What's the cruising altitude supposed to be? That's $1 million
knots,
question.
Visibility 6 miles. Sky condition VFR. Temperature 15, dew point 6.
So
Current
based
QNH is
on the
1027.
info we
Arriving
have
and departing runway 27.
39. Okay, so it's correct.
East Midlands Airport Information Hotel.
Let's remove the 80s for now. Okay, so 390. It's all filed, good. We don't have to care about pack X. Sorry, pack X. Pilot to ADC. They have two similar names. But we want to put in the 399 in pack X. We want to do the flight time, and we want to do the time until takeoff. And we don't actually have the max. They have the Neo, but not the max. Interesting. But let's put in the NGU. We can do 60 packs with that one. I'm gonna put in the boarding. You can't see it now because I'm doing it on the other side or on my other screen. But it's a quick thing. Soon done. Safety. Okay, there we go. Now we can start the boarding as well from GSX. No pushback tag requested. We don't need those. And we want to do the left aft entry. We want to open the cargo doors. So there we go. And it's interesting how this is the kind of first class version. I wish there was, so you could just have the what's it called, the economy setup. I've never flown in a 737 with any sort of first class or business class even for that matter. But to be frank, that was mainly because when I've flown the 737 in Europe, it's been Norwegian or Ryanair, or when I flew it in India, it was like Spice jet, right? Not really first class level. But it, you know, it's fine. Economy, not the best, not the worst. Okay. What else do we need to do now? We can, I guess, double check the plan. Or is it the totally opposite direction?
Passenger's bus is coming.
Oh, that's the plan one, sorry. I was going to VR. Yeah, looks good. I mean, we should always do this kind of a quick check, to be frank. Let's go back to map mode. We can set our speed to something reasonable, 230 maybe. Flight directors can go on. We need to remember that the flaps, we can't close it with our normal flaps, we'll have to do it with a specific button I have for that. People are boarding, that's good news. Let's see if this one works. Yeah, maybe a bit quick. We can do the fuel pumps because we're gonna need those anyway for the what's it called? The APU. That's the name of the small little engine we have in the back of the plane. That's not helping us with the lift or anything of that sort. But yeah, boarding is continuing. Not much new on that front. And in terms of actually getting up in the air, what else do we need to do? We need to do the performance pages, right? Important not to forget. We know the cruise altitude. And we know, let me just have a look at the flight plan. And we know the winds, etc. So not too bad. Zero fuel weight, we know that as well. And last but not least, we have our fuel here loaded up. We know our reserves, and we know our cost index 5. Quite a low cost index to be frank, but okay. The dew point is at -5. And we can jump to the N1 limiter and then do performance. And let's do the takeoff. We're taking off from runway, let me see, 27, right? Yeah. Dry. And let's listen actually to the 80s, but I'm just gonna find the right frequency as well, so we don't have to search for that specifically, aka the ground clearance one, so we can just quickly get onto that when we need to. The ground frequency is maybe it's the ground one, not the ground clearance one. So 1,
20
2,
local winds are 230 at 6
1
knots.
at 9.
Visibility 6 miles. Sky condition VFR. Temperature 13. Dew point 6. Current QNH is 1027. Arriving and departing runway
Okay,
27.
we have that set. Let's get this one
East
correct.
Midlands Airport automated weather observation 720 local winds are 230 at 6
2,
knots. Visibility 6 miles. Sky condition
6
VFR.
knots.
Temperature 13. Dew point 6.
13.
Current QNH is 1027. Arriving and departing runway 27.
1027. 1027.
East Midlands Airport.
There we go. Takeoff weight looks very correct. We can maybe go a bit down on it. Something like that. CG wise, I think that should be fine. Thrust rating, we can have a bit of a derated one. Flaps, aircon on, anti-ice off. We can calculate. Selected temp 46, and let's actually have a look at our flight plan, what that one is saying in terms of selected temp. It's suggesting, let's see if we have that info even. One would think that we do 46. God damn, very correct. What's the weather looking at then? Route, no anti-ice warnings. There will be a northern, no sorry, a southern wind whole flight, so we'll basically have a bit of a crosswind, but that's about it. I'm looking at it here from the compass version, right? You can here see all the online flight plan, etc. Wish there was a bit better integration with the iFly one, not from the A-Cars system, but from, you know, SimBrief. But oh well. Not the end of the world. Okay, flaps. Let's do the selected one first, 46. We'll do the rated one. Quite low numbers. It might be fine. 5, 38, 39, 48, 5, 138, 139, and 148. And what else? Trim 536 and flap 5. Let's put the trim. Very quick trim. I wonder if MCAS is included. I doubt it is, but it would be cool if someone actually did have that set up for their Boeing 737 MAX 8. I mean, it would be
We're ready to go when you are.
correct, right? Okay, so we are basically ready with the boarding. We can start closing the doors. We can wish up passengers. I'm gonna move this one up so we have an easier way of doing this. And let's see if it's enough to put the seatbelt sign on in the game or in the sim. We'll also start APU. Is this the service interphone? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is your first officer speaking. Welcome on board our flight. We'll be departing soon and we're aiming for a smooth flight. Thanks for flying and we'll keep you informed of any changes as they happen.
Okay, let's get ready to go. Airwego 4003, ready to copy, IFR clearance. Okay, we got it.
Airwego 4003 is cleared to Echo Delta Delta Hotel climb via the D2I 3 November departure, then is filed. Expect departure runway 27. Climb to flight level 170 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 5 minutes after departure. East Midlands Radar Director on 120.12. Squawk 5403.
Airwego
There
4003
we
is
go.
cleared to Echo
Let's
Delta
put
Delta
this
Hotel
on so I
climb
don't
via
forget.
The DTY 3 November departure, then is
Easy
filed.
mistake to
Climb
make.
flight level 170 via the departure. Expect higher
TFC.
clearances 5 minutes after departure. East Midlands
TFC.
Radar Director on 120.12. Squawk 5403.
Okay.
Airwego
Very nice.
4003 readback correct QNH is 1027. Let us know when you're ready for
I
pushback.
must be honest though, this aircraft
QNH is 1027.
is just, you know,
Airwego
this
4003.
huge screens. This is the most that I can think of extreme plane in terms of those huge screens. Luckily, as it's a 737, you still have the overhead panel in the old school layout, but my god. I do prefer the analog ones, I must say. Or the ones in between, right? The 737-800 is kind of a good mix. Let's put this one correct, the standby one. And we can put the normal one as well. Let's just change the right setting. There we go. APU can be seen. I'm actually wondering now because we don't have it up. I think it's here, and if you change to system, no, not system, not info, even though you can of course here set some of these speed refs, etc. Alright, it's set already. Interesting. Let's leave as is. Okay, we have APU. I think these can go on the maxes. We can wait with the probe, etc. We can put on the bleed. We can keep that on open. Anti-collision can go on. Let's see if it actually works. Yeah, we have the red light there at the bottom. We can also remove the stairs. And yeah, we are ready to start going. Airwego 4003, ready for pushback.
Airwego 4003 pushback approved.
We should go to the
Pushback
left.
approved, Airwego
So it's gonna be a very,
4003.
very simple kind of flight, which is good. We don't mind that. Let's make sure we get the right minimum fuel on this one. 2000. Diversion is to Copenhagen of all places. And let me actually just check that we get the CG right. I'm not sure if we can see it here. Actually, I'm now wondering if we have the right data. Because what did it say on the takeoff one? If I go to cancel 23.9, is that really what we have in terms of CG? I mean, technically it could be, right?
Goedemiddag, Channel 588, getting 06. Channel 588, right on Alpha, taxi gate Echo 5. Right turn onto
Well, that
Alpha,
feels like
gate
it's
Echo 5,
a lie. Let me have a look here. Weight and balance. I mean, we are at 30 almost. Let's do like 29.7. So if I now jump back to this one and put in 29 sorry, 29. What do I then get? 438. 438, 138, 139, 148. So only the trim changed. 438. 27 dot to 29.7. Okay. The winds they were at 2, 3, at 6. 0 slope since we're flying in P3D. And we can execute. Happy days. Okay, we are ready to get rolling. Let's ask for some pushback. And this is, if you're wondering, the Orbex East Midlands. You can see a bit of the airport from the inside. It's not the best, this one, unfortunately. It's also a bit boring since it doesn't have any jetways. Or maybe that's actually pretty nice in the sense you don't have to worry about those extra things. One thing we need to remove, which I realized a bit late, is of course the ground support stuff.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Chokes, for example. So let's get rid of those. We can keep the airport map open for now. It's a bit buggy sometimes. I have some frame rate drops with this one, but not the end of the world. Okay, let's see if we have any nice viewpoints. I think we had like one for this one, right? Yeah, connect to the plane.
Locking gear.
Can we get it up a bit? I'm not sure if it looks that good, this model. I think the PMDG one looks better. This one, it's just, there's something that feels a bit off with its, I don't know why, but it could be of course the viewpoint, but it just feels too tiny, too, maybe it's just me. Too squishy, I guess. We want to go nose left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Oh, we even have this viewpoint if we would have wanted. Let's do this engine first. Okay, and we are, let me just check that we're ready to be pushed. Oh yeah, I forgot about this issue. Okay, pushback approved.
Parking brakes push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Start at will it is. And no screen here. That's always a bit of a weird one. Okay, let's see. We got the engines spooling up. Oh, I picked the wrong engine, of course. There we go. Okay, come on. It takes a bit of time with these. This is the LEAP ones, right? Yeah, because Boeing only has one engine option. Which is very interesting, right? But oh well. There we go. The engine is up and about.
Few moments now to locate your nearest exit, which in some cases may be behind you.
And we have the Pack X going on. Let me remove the interaction thing. Engine fail. Ah, no. I guess that's just something that it will say. Let's start the left engine. We're seeing then two values go up. We can confirm good engine start to save some time. Okay, and we need to get fuel. Sorry, I was checking if the video was doing fine. So now we have the left engine starting. Let's see if we can get it. Come on. There we go. Now it's going strong. And what plane do we have here in the background? Ah, it's some of those discarded ones. Yeah, he's leaving us alone now. We can go to rejected takeoff, which we forgot yesterday. We don't need to do the speed brakes, right? We don't need to arm those. One thing we never tried was this fire one, right? Seems to work. And this one also works, very nice. Let's do the generators. We can hear the packs going on. The probes. Trim air is on. This one seems to be set automatically, so that's nice. No sound on that one. Runway and taxi lights. Did the guy leave us? Yeah, he's walking away. Okay. Let's go to the easy view. Airwego 4003, ready to taxi. Let's shut the APU.
Airwego 4003
I wanna
runway
see,
27.
where do you see the
Taxi via
APU?
taxiway Alpha. Hold short runway 27.
Runway 27, taxi via taxiway Alpha. Hold short runway 27 Airwego 4003.
Oh, that's just a recall. Okay. Okie dokie. I think we are basically ready. We have that on. What about the weather radar? We want to have one on terrain. Let's check here. It's looking good. Oh, it's really bad, the frames. What was it that? I thought it was the weather radar and the terrain, but doesn't seem to have been that interesting. Okay, auto throttle arm, LNAV and VNAV armed. Yeah, okay, looking good. And we have the taxi clearance. Basically they want us to move to the left immediately. I guess we can try to do that.
Ready to go.
Let's add a bit of... What was the beeping about? Actually, let's put the flaps in as well. Okay, and we are taxiing. Interesting that we couldn't do it on idle. I mean, these are really hardcore engines, right? Actually, one thing I want to do is set the chrono. Let's try to turn here, since this is where we're supposed to turn. I mean, it's a good looking plane, especially on the inside, but yeah, I'd feel the exterior is not even close to the PMDG level you can get in P3D. Okay, and the left one correct, then we'll turn right.
Nou, officieel is het wel aardig gezet, maar onofficieel moet je eigenlijk van rechts op het spoor geven. Maar het is wel aardig op het
Okay, let's see here. We can brake. Left is clear, right is clear. It taxis pretty well, this one actually. I'll give it that much. It's a good taxier. And let's see if we have any good viewpoints. Okay, we have this. Is this all of the ones? I guess I didn't implement too many. Need to work on that a bit. Okay, so we'll taxi down and then we'll start our takeoff. Looking pretty good, there seems to be wing flex. Okay. Let's try to stay within the constraints of the taxiway, to a certain extent at least. Oh yeah, look at this livery, looking really good actually. That's nice to see. We're taxiing a bit hard. Okay, so distance to departure, we are at the... Oh, let me just check. Yeah, it seems to be working the A-car, so that's good news. And it's the next one to the left. Let's keep that one at 5. Same with that, the right one. I'm gonna throttle down a bit. Just so we can
Airwego 4003 contact
avoid
East Midlands Tower on
going
124.0.
totally
Tower on 124.0
out of bounds
Airwego
or similar.
4003.
Okay, good. We got the tower handover. Airwego 4003 ready for takeoff. And let's see.
Airwego 4003
Yeah.
winds are 240
Chris Pine giving it
knots. Runway 27
correctly to
clear
us.
for
Let's
takeoff
see.
squawk 5403.
Runway 27 cleared for takeoff squawking 5403 Airwego 4003.
Okay, we can beep that. It's looking good generally. We have speeds correctly set. We have gear, flaps are correctly set. It should all be fine. We'll take off and we'll follow our flight plan. LNAV armed, VNAV armed, auto throttle armed. Do we have 2 runway advisory systems with this one? Interestingly enough, but okay. Let's do this. Let's start by throttling up, having a look that it looks good. It does look good. Going Toga. Geronimo, we are on our way. The sounds are pretty good on this one, I'll say. Okay, we have airspeed alive, 80 knots. I'll pull back on the yoke a bit, or not push it forward. 120 knots, checked. V1, rotate. Okay, let's avoid tail striking. Good. We can trim a bit. Positive rate of climb. Let's get those gears up. A bit of loading. And let's have a look. we need to go one further step by clicking an extra button. Okay, we can turn to the left here. Let's
Airwego
try to trim this
400,
somewhat
3
correct.
contact, East Midlands radar control on 134.17.
Radar control on
Looking pretty good.
134.17 Airwego 4003.
It is a beautiful aircraft, even though the wings look... Are they tinier, or is that just me missing something?
4003, good morning.
You can see also the engines are a bit more forward and up, so that it gets enough clearance below. Okay, a bit of a laggy lag, but looking pretty good. We're flying over beautiful True Earth. Okay, let's trim, and what we can do next is... Oh, we'll just follow it as of now, and then we'll put it on autopilot after we made this next turn.
4003, slow to 250 knots or less.
Wilco Airwego 4003.
The trim is so
Airwego
effective on this one. I'm not sure if it's
contact
supposed to be that
Manchester Center
effective.
on 118.77.
Center on
Gosh, now I'm sounding like
118.77 Airwego 4003.
an MCAS victim. But no, that's not why. It's just because when I do any sort of trim,
Center Airwego 4003,
it's crazy.
climb to flight level 170.
Okay, I prefer the PMDG one in that regard.
Airwego 4003, good morning.
Okay, let's turn. We can go to standard. Standard on all of them. Still looking pretty good. Trim a bit. Okay, but not that much. Not that much. Jesus, this is how you get a runaway trim situation.
Airwego 4003, descend and maintain flight level 090 until passing Delta 338 Whiskey.
Descend and maintain flight level 090 Airwego 4003.
Okay, let's do 9. We're a bit too high. Okay, altimeter setting is fine. One thing to note... Or actually nothing to note. I was gonna say something about this little bump here, but I guess that's SATCOM or something, Wi-Fi, etc. I guess you can have that on most aircraft. This one is cool, the VSD button, right? So you can get the view of the vertical as well. I am a big fan at least. Okay, and now we can just continue following. We'll probably get climb clearance up to 39 eventually. So I'll put that in. I just want to see if when we pass the next waypoint, will this one by itself get us pitching higher? I hope so. I do hope so. We can turn the lights off here as well. And the seatbelt sign, and let's check if that had any effect on the... It did. That's good. Okay, very close. And I'm just gonna check pilot to ADC now, just to see what... so we're talking about a 1 hour and 30-minute flight, but it's probably gonna shorten up quite a bit once we start getting up there in the air. Okay, let's see. God, what my internet is being slow. Okay, we are climbing by our own accord now, so that's good. Let's turn off these. We have the flash one, right? Which is pretty cool. Much better for visibility. I can remove the VSD for now. I don't know why this one has become so clunky. Let me remove the terrain. Potentially that one. Or the VX. But yeah, for some reason this one is... Okay, potentially I can blame the ortho thing that I'm doing. That would explain. Not the best to do those simultaneously. Still quite a few left. We'll basically be done by the time we're starting our approach, if I'm lucky.
4003 climbing to flight level 170.
Airwego 4003.
So baby steps, baby steps. So you just have to bear with me. Yeah, it's quite CPU intensive, that's why we're having the lag. Probably not the best idea to fly one of the more heavy aircrafts in the sim. Okay, let's see if I have... Well, this is pretty good, I think. So, I am gonna leave you guys. We have a long flight ahead of us. Let's see if we get further clearances. And we do.
Climb and maintain flight level 250 Airwego 4003.
So we'll just let the VNAV take us up. And we will continue for probably around 40 minutes. 30 minutes maybe if we're lucky, and then I'll be back. Gonna let the plane do its plane thing. I do trust the iFly since I'm max 8 enough. So see you soon.
Airwego 4003 climb, and maintain flight level 330.
Climb and maintain flight level 330 Airwego 4003.
Good morning, Lufthansa 569, number 3801. Lufthansa 569 identified.
Good morning, EDF in 3640, approaching easy level 380.
And the orbit 3640, small 1000.
Confirm flight 1000.
Correct.
Approach.
Lufthansa 569, confirm you are in South Space. Confirm you in South Space, Lufthansa 569. Roger.
Good morning, Condor 1 Hotel Delta, passing level 282, climbing 200 level.
City, Condor 1 Hotel Delta, identified. Regard Blue 6, climb to flight level 350.
5 Blue Flex, climbing level 350, Condor 1 Hotel Delta.
Airwego 4003 climb, and maintain flight level 390.
Climb and maintain flight level 390 Airwego 4003.
Good morning to EGNX, Bravo Yankee level 370. Good day, to EGNX, Bravo Yankee, identified. Proceed to Udina. Udina to EGNX, Bravo Yankee, danke. Operator, leading to flight level 140. Descent 140, show from airfield. Coordinate 9 drive, passing a flight at 315, landing flight at 350. Coordinate 3 Alpha, rectified. Proceed to route 6. 6 9 drive, confirming requested level. Flight at 370, coordinate 3 Alpha. Roger, time to flight level 370. Flight at 370, coordinate 9 drive, and I can drop. Yankee X-ray, descent level 340. Yankee X-ray, descent level 340, and 3506 to be successful. Okay, thank you. Level 360. France 2.3, hello, direct to Lima, Uniform Lima. Direct Lima, Uniform Lima, France 253. Sorry, my mistake, make it direct hotel Oscar Charlie instead. France 2.3, make it direct hotel Oscar Charlie instead, please. Say again the point? Hotel Oscar Charlie. Hotel Oscar Charlie, France 253, thank you. Italia 149, when ready, descend level 340. When ready, descend 340, Italia 149.
EG36 Mike Foxtrot, flight level 360.
EG36 Mike Fox, hello, squawk 7533.
7533, EG36 Mike Foxtrot.
Ryanair, 3 Juliet Whiskey. Ryanair 3 US Whiskey, code 13328, clear. Ryanair 3 Juliet Whiskey, and for your information, light location where turbulence between 370 and 380. Okay, thank you. Now, go.
Okay, let's see. We are still cruising. Just noticed that my what's it called? Windows Explorer seems to have crashed again. There we go. It's back alive. How are we looking with the still moving on? With the ortho. This is how it looks when you do the ortho, right? So making different blocks. Usually what I do, or the only reason why I'm making these blocks now is because I had some issues with the autogen not showing up, so I had to redo it. But it's basically all of this. So I made these one. So it's basically Texas. I've also, you want to clean up the tiles. So I haven't made ortho like this, but I made most of the area inside, right? And then I kind of cleared up so I don't need to save all the tiles. If you want to keep, or what you should do, let's say you have an airport in Oklahoma City, you should make this in a higher zoom level, because it's much nicer, right, to look at it than when you get down low. But I just kept it at 14. Then you can see BI, that's the Bing one, and
Airwego
then
4003
GO2, that's the
contact
Google one.
Amsterdam Center on 119.17.
Okay,
Center on 119.17 Airwego 4003.
still looking pretty good.
Center Airwego 4003 level at flight
Nothing
level 390.
odd to report.
Airwego 4003, good afternoon.
At least not what I can see. Let me see, where's the chase plane? There's chase plane. And I want to get to a nice... I want to... let me see, why is this one not... There we go. Being very slow. Oh, that's just okay, yeah. I got a bit worried that I'd messed up the delivery, but it's still looking, yeah, it's looking correct. But my god, it's not the best. Let's keep that one. Yeah, the frames are not the best with this ortho creation at the same time. While we continue our slow cruise towards Hamburg, what we can do is double check some of the progression. So at Mavas we should be at 9, which which is
Good morning, Cathay 9.
fuel wise.
382 is 7,000 climbing, 120 here.
Let's see, Mavas. Do we have that last one? Somba and Mavas?
382.
We should have it, right? Somba here, 8.6. Mavas, 8.4. So we actually have a bit more fuel than we think we have, or than we thought we would have. In terms of the, actually now I'm a bit, it says we have a northern.
Turkish 124, connect 133, decimal 405, goodbye.
Wind. Does that make sense? Is that what it said in the, did I read it wrong? The weather information, here we go, wind information. And maybe I did read it wrong. It's from the north, right? Not from the south. Let me see. Sig weather chart symbols. I need to find the instructions for that and to double check if I've been reading them shots wrong. Not the charts, but the instructions for the weather. Let me have a look. But how do you know which direction the winds are coming from? That's the one I'm reading the sim brief bulletin on this. Okay, so it's the direction of the arrow. Which is what I thought originally, but then oh well. Oh well, oh well. It's still a crosswind though, right? Just coming from the north. We're soon coming above. Let's see, we do have some with very few clouds. And that should be the Netherlands, right? Looks like it. And what's the expected weather at our arrival? That's the $1,000,000 question. Let's have a look at our Simbrief flight plan. It's gonna tell us what the weather was at least anticipated to be at when we made the flight plan. 270 at 20 knots. Basically no clouds. Few at 20 knots. It's gonna be gusting to 30 knots though. That's what it's becoming. And then broken at 1200, so yeah, let's see. Let's see how this develops. But yeah, not a lot of clouds. This is a very tiny amount of clouds. They look very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen these sort of clouds in the volumetric ones before. But I'll take that. They look pretty cool, pretty different. Okay, about 100 nautical miles to go still. While we wait, maybe we can get a nice thumbnail. That would be cool. Do we have like a good viewpoint for that? Maybe this one is pretty nice. Kind of basic, but it will do. You can open paint.net and start populating it with the, let me see, P2D logo, we want that right. And then the Airwego logo, which I also should have saved somewhere. There we go. But yeah, it flies pretty nicely, this one, and the VNav works with the iFly, so that's always nice to see. It's always the thing that gets me most stressed up if we have a non-working VNav. Just because it kind of restricts you, right? In terms of how you can fly, etc. That's so odd, having some really weird screen stuff on my left screen. What is it saying? There's some text that's kind of burnt in. Never seen that before. Where the hell does that come from? Oh well, not gonna bother with that. It is what it is. I wish I could show it though, but I doubt you'll see it on a recording, right? Even if I switched screens to show that. Because I guess the burning is only visible right from the viewpoint. I guess if I had a camera, right, and record it, it would be visible. And I am gonna go to YouTube. And let's see what... oh yeah, I'm gonna change the viewpoint actually. Sorry about that, guys. We can keep this one. Do we have a nicer one though? Maybe the one with the engine was the nicest one we have. Okay, now we can see the weather changing again. So not the best. soon done with the thumbnail, just making sure that I have the right IKEA codes on it, which I almost botched. I think I got it right, and let's see. Airwego, good, that's written. Perfect, I think that's that can be considered done. So I'm just gonna save the picture with sniping tool. I'm a big fan of sniping tool. I hope it never goes away. Even though I know it's like a new iteration of it now, but oh well, oh well. Good, we have that saved, and we can see that the weather has changed quite a bit now, so it does seem like there's gonna be a bit of an overcast. It's not the most pretty clouds though. Do we have any good viewpoints that we can... Maybe we can keep that as our outside view for a while. And let me see, did I close the YouTube? I did. Always nice when you get some comments on YouTube on your clips, right? Getting that engagement, right? And not in the sense of that I'm trying to monetize it or anything, but just, you know, people make YouTube videos for different reasons. One of the reasons I make it is, you know, you get interesting discussions, people reach out, etc. I also want to give a shout out to this guy I found, Andras Sobster. He makes like some engineering videos. Very good actually content. I'm talking about it, I'm gonna send it to one of my pals on Discord who's an aeronautical engineer. I know he'll appreciate. Yeah, so this guy basically talks, the video I've been watching is the Boeing 727, and it's very interesting, you know, talking about the different flaps and how those are chosen, and that, let's see if you can see it here. But I think at least on some Boeings, right, they had this, I think on the 727 they had Fowler flaps, and then they had some kind of midpoint. Let me have a look at 727 flaps. The Kruger one, right? Let me have a look. Kruger flaps. Let me see if I have a good picture of one. This one maybe? So maybe this one actually has something to that effect, but I'm potentially not actually. But yeah, just an interesting tidbit, small today I learned. So let's see, with no wing-mounted engines, leading edge devices, Kruger or hinged flaps on the inner wing, and extendable leading edge slats out to the wingtip, and then trailing edge lift enhancement equipment, triple slotted Fowler flaps. Could be used on the entire wing. So the design was stable at very low speeds compared to other early jets. So yeah, very interesting. The 727 is a true beauty. The only sim I actually have a 727 is the Captain Sim one for FSX. So if I'll ever fly the 727 in the near future, it's gonna be that one. I'm waiting for FlyJ Sim to update theirs. If they never do, I might see that as a reason to get or to install X-Plane 11. I just couldn't see any reason to do it thus far, with X-Plane 12 being as good as it is, right? And with most add-ons being ported, at least the ones that are worth the hassle, right? Yeah, we still have quite a bit of ortho left to generate, and the annoying part is it's only the autogen, right? So I made like 100 tiles. And then when I opened all of them up, you know, to kind of move them, fuse them together, I noticed that there was no autogen. Luckily I had for Texas and Louisiana, I had a lot of autogen from Living Airports, so they offer this free autogen for a lot of American photoreal. But of course didn't have any for Oklahoma, and then I wanted to do some autogen, and of course I wanted to fill out to the extent possible the autogen I have from Living Airports, right? Because it might have generated better in some areas. But oh well, the life of ortho. I think it was also one of the reasons why I had so little what's it called? So little autogen around when I flew in Wisconsin as well. So I'll have to have a look if I need to regenerate the whole area. I regenerated the ones I hadn't, or where I knew there wasn't any autogen. Oh, there's been a helicopter crash in at the Hudson River. Let's have a look if there's any news. At least 6 reported dead after a helicopter crashed in Hudson River. Ah, 3 children and 3 adults, that's awful. Crazy, a lot of tariff talk as well going on right now. We're in interesting times. Okay, let's see, this one is suggesting that we start our descent very early. We still have 180 nautical miles. So let's maybe do that. The Tapai TDC is suggesting Popsu, but this one is suggesting at Axum. And I do tend to agree with the planes sometimes above not always, but I do from time to time actually agree. So I'm gonna ask for descent clearance to, let's do 11,000. Airwego 4003 requesting flight level 110. Okay, let's see if this went
Airwego
through.
4003 descend and maintain flight level 110.
Descend and maintain flight level 110 Airwego 4003.
Okay, 110. That's good. At least we got that. So now we can start descending here. It's much better also at picking up what you're saying now, pilot ADCs. That's also great. Yeah, so slow with the FPS. This I can't use the. I can fly it pretty okay in X-Plane, but I can't do it with P3D. It really kills it off the ortho thing. Such a slow process. Sorry about all the jumping. I'm just checking the ortho. Seeing if it's still being generated, which it is. But I think it's also, you know, doing the ortho at the same time while, of course, having the one of the more intense aircrafts in P3D. And we have started our descent. And while we descend, we can also start preparing for the landing. And I'm just gonna check if we ever got the chart from nav data. Yeah, we did.
4003 contact Bremen Center on 125.1.
It was 23, right? We're landing
Center on
at.
125.1 Airwego 4003.
If I'm not totally mistaken. Yeah, I think so. So this is the Lido
Center
chart.
Airwego 4003 descending to flight level
So let me move this to another place, and we can have a
Airwego
look here
4003, good afternoon.
in terms of here actually. Wait, we want to change to mode, right? There we go. So 11150. So there we go. We have an ILS. We can do the same here. 1150. There we go. So we have that prepared as we wanted. And then what we also want to do, and here we can change between below and above for the TCAS. Guess we want to do below since we're descending. I think it looks for everything, but I guess it prioritizes below, something like that. We have a pretty long runway, 3,000 meters I think it is. I hope it is. Feet would be a bit short. But it is a shorter runway than some of these other ones are. Not that much shorter though, so it should be fine. But let's see. Sucks though that we can't see too much of the ground. Specifically because we have this awful grid pattern overcast. Doesn't look too bad from the cockpit when you look outside. And I'll show you how bad it looks when you do the live graphics and turn down the brightness, right? So this is what I would say the biggest issue with True Sky, and which is why I also guess they dumped them for P3D version 6. But okay, let's have a look here. So we have a category 1. .270 is the barrow. Let's get it down. 270 is the barrow. We have it set on boat. That's nice. In case of missed approach, it seems to be basically just climbing forward. Interesting. The transition is at 5,000. And then, yeah, don't think there's much else to. Course maybe 228. That we need to put in. 228. There must be an option to do this automatically, right? Let's get it on both sides correct. 228. Or maybe you can. Maybe it is a manual, something you set in manually. Oh, there we can do a hold. That's good. Need to learn how to do that. VNav. This ATC doesn't seem to work. Okay, so maybe not that much is. So there's some limitation to what's actually simulated. We can do the approach one. That should be fine. Not gonna calculate anything more. Will be fine. Famous last words, but I think they hold true for this rodeo.
Airwego 4003 expect the ribs 2 pop arrival with the ribso transition for the ILS approach to runway 23 with the DH657 transition at Hamburg
Let's just have a look at the task manager to see where we're using.
Arrival with the ribso transition for the ILS approach to runway 23
yeah, you can see there it's taking quite a bit of the CPU, which is basically killing it, and then with all these other things, right, being on, such as for example the tool that we're using for the recording. And now you can see it crashed the Windows Explorer. Which is frustrating to say the least, since I do like to be able to select folders, etc. So what I just do in those cases is, but this is why you shouldn't do auto while flying, do it overnight or something. I just really wanted to get it done, so that's the only reason why I pushed forth. But yeah, now we should have it back, somewhat working at least. Still bits to go. And I think we can descend quite comfortably. Let's have a look at what they said. And I think we can just keep on descending down to the approach one. It's gonna be fine with the VNav being on, etc. Shouldn't be any big issues. Let me have a look though that we are following the right. So 3000 is that. Yeah, that's according to the chart. Good. So I'll leave you guys a bit again, and I'll be back in a jiffy.
Airwego 4003 descend via the ribs 2P arrival with the ribso transition to 4,000 feet QNH is 1020 at Hamburg Airport.
Descend via the ribs 2P arrival with the ribso transition to 4,000 feet QNH is 1020 Airwego 4003.
Airwego 4003 contact Hamburg radar director on 118.2.
Radar director on 118.2 Airwego 4003. Radar director Airwego 4003 descending via the ribs 2P arrival with the ribso transition to 4,000 feet.
Airwego 4003 good afternoon. Continue descent via the ribs 2 Pava arrival with the ribso transition.
Continue descent via the ribs 2 Papa arrival with the ribso transition Airwego 4003.
We have begun our final descent into Germany. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any track one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat cushion.
Okay, time for the captain to return to wrap this up and to make sure we don't fall behind considering the stuttering we have because of the ortho generation. It wouldn't surprise me if things went a bit wrong. I'm gonna add a bit of actually we don't need to add that, but we do need to add a bit of flaps. I think could be good. Let's see what the limitations are. I think it's 250, so that's good. Or good enough, I think. Let me see. Are we descending fast enough? That's my main $1,000,000 question. We seem to be in a cloud layer now. Have we gotten any continued descent? Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Now I know why we're having this issue. Because we never put in the God damn. That's why. That's why I wanted to start the descent much earlier. I'm gonna remove the flaps. Okay, that makes sense. I forgot to put in the star. God, what a rookie mistake. Fortunately, we didn't end up flying too differently, but I think we kind of flew directly here instead of doing the ribs, so one. So that's something to bear in mind. In terms of the actual height, we should be at... Potentially we're a bit low. But that's about it. The landing lights can go on. We can go to flashing light, I think, actually. We can put on these other ones as well. Let's actually have a look. Did I really close the Lido charts? Because I didn't check what the height of the runway was. Where do you see it on these? Threshold, right? 443, is that it? Would make sense. We can close it again. We can also do the seatbelt sign warning thing. Let's see if we got 93% satisfied. We can do it ahead of schedule, that'll get them more satisfied, right?
Flight deck, we're moderately
1%.
we'll get you on the ground sooner than later.
Not the best. We are at 5,000 now, so we should get the altimeter. Airwego 4003. Say altimeter.
Airwego 4003 QNH is 1020 at Hamburg Airport.
QNH is 1020 Airwego 4003.
So let's get that set. We could do the landing one as well, technically, but don't think that's gonna be necessary. This video one, I guess, doesn't really do anything. As you can see, there's less options on this than on the PMDG one, so it's not as in-depth. But it's pretty good. Anything else we need to do? Don't think so. We have the info correctly set up. We did flight a bit dumb in terms of not getting the star. I should have realized that's why the stars. I thought it was like the additional stars. Been making a lot of mistakes during my latest flights. I need to get some rest. I need to take a break from YouTube flight simming, going back to the roots. Let's have a look. We can start to see the ground here, and this is of course land class, which is why it looks a bit weird. But it looks pretty good. This is like good land class. It's the Germany Orbex, the Orbex Germany region. It's actually let me see, Ireland, Norway and Germany are the only Orbex regions I use. I do have Wales as well, but I only have that for the airport, Cardiff airport. But I use True Earth England instead. It's just much better with photoreal. But I think they're pretty fine, the regions ones, so I'll keep them, save some space, and you know, they look pretty good when you get down, right? You can see all the 3D stuff, right? It's of course this is the ugliest part, the cities, but yeah, the closer you get, the better. So we're actually flying kind of the right conditions for flying, you know, in land class. Okay, let's see, we can arm the approach mode. So we get the localizer. We have a long way to go for the glide slope one. Runway approach tune. Disagree. And actually that's a really good point. Taking into account what happened the last time we flew. It's worth checking out that we do 228. Yeah, we have the right. No, it is runway 23. Why would that be problematic in any way? We're on the localizer. I mean, everything is technically correctly set up. Let's pay attention a bit, see if something has been missed. Auto brake 2. Speed brakes are armed. We're getting a lot of the stuttering now due to the ortho generation. Mental note for future: never generate ortho while flying P3D. It worked so well yesterday, so I got a bit fooled, but X-Plane works a bit better in that department. We can put the VSD here. Still nothing for the... Okay, now we have the approach armed. Good that we noticed that. Guess we can keep LNAV armed in the back. We can go flaps 5. And let me see, shouldn't we be descending? We're gonna start descending pretty shortly. I think maybe we're adding the flaps, kind of pushed up the nose somehow. Maybe because it gave us more lift, right? That would make sense. We are on the VNAV path, but it doesn't feel like we're really descending. If we are, it's very slowly. Oh yeah, very slowly. We have about 15 nautical miles to the airport. Lights are on. Let's have a look if we can see the flashing lights somehow. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see them flashing. Synchronized. Looks pretty good. Maybe we can keep that external view if we pump. Or actually, that was a pretty boring one. This one will be. I like that one more with the max one. Okay, we're still losing. Okay, and let's see if we can increase a bit the thrust. Don't want to go too slow. We're doing single engine which I think should be fine, even though the minimums where the weather isn't looking the best. Yeah, it is at 1500, so it has deteriorated a bit, but it should be fine. Famous last words, right? Famous last words. Let's throttle down a bit now. Let's get those gears down so we get a bit more drag. Yeah, let's see, slow down play. We want to go to flaps 10. And we can go to flaps 15.
2500.
Okay, let's see, we'll keep the autopilot having us descend for a bit as we increase that. And we're about 6 nautical miles from the runway. Let's go flaps full, and I'll add a bit of thrust. Now let's continue. The minimums are very low, 270, so we can still have the aircraft descend as is. I'll add a bit of thrust. So we're reducing speed quite quickly. Okay, that should be good. Autopilot is still on. Auto throttle is in manual. Flaps full. Speed brakes armed. Auto brakes armed. Lights are on. Hopefully everything else is set correctly. And let's see, we're still descending, still descending. Yeah, I guess that 50, the number there, showcases the height of the runway. So far so good. Still descending, coming down. Looks pretty good. Still descending. We have the runway in sight. Manual control. We have a bit of wind coming in from the right, from 277, so we need to counteract that. We're gonna have to do a crab to the left on as we just before we touch down.
Approaching 2, 3.
We can slow down a bit. I'll have to let me just trim a bit, tad bit. Hope I didn't overdo it. Trimming is harder with this one than with the PMD Jeep, just because this one is so extreme. We have quite a bit of lag due through ortho. Oh, and that was actually Windows Explorer crashing again.
200. Minimum.
We should do a go around to be frank, but since I am in no mood to continue flying this stutter fest, due to my own cause of course, I'll just
100.
land. Should be fine. We're a bit high.
40, 30,
Let me
20,
see.
10.
Oh, a bit of a bounce. Okay, that's gonna be good enough. I didn't crab enough. That was the big issue though. But we did land. Yeah, sorry about that guys, with the crashing of everything, right? That's super annoying. Or at least I would think it's annoying watching a video where it blacks out just before and then we're way below the... Whoa, and there's the other plane driving right through us. Yeah, not the best.
Gentlemen, welcome to Germany. The local time is 2:10 p.m. and it's currently about 7 degrees.
But I'm at least happy to have done this flight. I was really looking forward to flying the iFly Max, even though I do think it deserves all of my CPU power, to be honest. It's a very well performing plane in normal cases. And let's see, I think we probably messed up the... I'm gonna restart the Windows Explorer. And we are gonna check pilot to ADC. Yeah, we never got the handover. Something is off with it. I need to have a look at why, because we used to always be able to get it. I mean, there never used to be any problems. So yeah, it's been a bit strange as of late. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I need to have a look at that. We were even on the right channel, but just no input from the controller, which of course is a bit strange, but oh well, oh well. Flying the compass. At least we made it. We landed safely. Let's taxi to the gate and start shutting stuff down. We can also go off with these ones. That one can go to steady. We'll just pick the closest gate. I really just wanna wrap this up now, get that ortho done. Maybe I'll do another flight today, or at least tomorrow I'll be able to do one.
Turn left to heading 075 to return to course.
We're off course.
Heading 075 Airwego
I don't think they have
4003.
figured out that we have landed yet. We'll just close pilot to ADC. That'll give us some CPU power. Gonna shut the other lights. I wanna blind the people on the ground. Well, not that we called anyone to assist us. But it's a pretty good. It's the it's the Sim Wings Hamburg. Yeah, just Sim doesn't have any of these moving vehicles, etc. And it is pretty good. It's not the best, but not the worst either. Trying to think now, I get like a bad feeling that I did a video on this airport and I said it was the Just Sim one, but it is the Sim Wings one. I usually avoid Just Sim unless they're the last course of action. Not that they're that bad, they're pretty decent, but just nothing spectacular, to be honest. Let's also have a look here on the PyRep. We landed with the 455, so another bad landing, second one in a row. We have not been doing good. Do not forget to submit, so we'll submit the PyRep. Yeah, we forgot to put on the APU. So that was not good. God, so many mistakes, man. These last few flights have been atrocious. I need to go back to flight sim school. Yeah, but just a lot of unnecessary mistakes, to be honest. Let's have a look at the replay and then we can wrap this up. That might be not enough. 360 will be enough though.
Approaching 2, 3.
Don't sink. Don't.
that the stalling sound? Interesting. It's because I don't have the flaps down according to the replay. So we were a bit high. We were first low, then we were a bit high due to me trying to overcorrect. Then I did not really crab. Mistake number there. Oh, actually we did kinda touch down already at the first one. At least we can see the thrust reverser animation. That's always nice. Well, yeah, it was okay, but pretty bad with the stuttering. Yeah, just awful. But at least hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you were looking into the iFly 77 Max 8, maybe you were convinced now. I've heard it's great in Microsoft Flight Sim as well. So for those of you flying that sim, do get it. It's a good plane. I didn't do it justice this time with all the stuttering I had due to the ortho being created in the background. You can see it on the vehicles stuttering all the time. Yeah, not good. And there we crashed the Windows Explorer again. God damn. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And otherwise, until next time, bye bye.